What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Josh Robinson Show. I am Josh, of course, and I ain't wasting any time with any kind of flip-flopping or anything like that. I'm just gonna get right to what is gonna go on today. I have got, how many people in this call? Four. There's 5 including me. I can't count. Math isn't my strong point. That's why I talk for a living. Well, not for a living, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I have gathered. It's been a few months since the end of Brainbusta Radio, but as everybody knows, we all still talk to each other. We're still in like a group DM, we still appear on one another's shows, we still talk all the time. So I had this random little idea last week to go, we've never really collectively, not that all of us are here, done a big just podcast really about nothing in particular. Just a random chat like we normally would anyway. Why not record it? So I was like, let's see who's down to do this, and let's have a little bit of a Brainbusta Radio reunion just after a couple of months before the end of the year, before all that craziness goes down. So why not gather all these people together? First, I'll run down the line of who we got here. We have got, she's been here a few times on the Josh Robinson Show. We've got Queen. You're here, and it's going to be I really have no plan. You probably have no expectation of really what is going to go on today, but how are you doing today?
Oh, you're totally wrong. I have a complete expectation of what's going to happen here, and it's absolute fuckery, and I can't wait.
Yeah, that's
true.
And
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. We've also got Conrad from Everything Pro Wrestling. Conrad, I haven't chat with you in a minute, but you're living a crazy life, but how are you doing?
I am doing very well, Josh. I'm glad that the timing worked out for me so that I can appear on someone else's podcast, but I've been very busy. I hope as soon as my schedule clears up, I can get you guys on some of my episodes, whether it's to do predictions or anything else. And I do have expectations for this as well. Pure professionalism, Josh.
Oh, well. Ooh, could be disappointed today. We have got we banter all the time, but I think I do like the guy a little bit. Mags, how are you today?
Why, hello, chaps and chapettes. How are we?
What the hell was that?
Oh my god.
That was me doing an impression of Queen doing a British accent.
Oh man, we'll
get
to that. We'll unpack that in a minute. And of course we have JPQ. He's here. He's always great. JPQ, you were on Wrestling Reverb a couple of weeks ago, so we probably chatted the least amount of time in between now and our last chat. But how are you today?
Doing well, man. I'm excited to make my debut on the Josh Robinson Show. I'll be honest with you. I expected a nicer studio. What the hell, man?
It's that buzzing, isn't it?
Might be.
Honestly, I don't even know if there's anybody else. Did I run through everybody? Because my brain is mush, so there's no one else here, is there? Me. I'm here. Hello. So let's address that little elephant that we just talked about then. Queen, we were talking in some you had some fun with a British accent in our little pre-chat, and it very much did sound like an American doing a British accent, but I feel like did you know the word tosser before, or was this something that you weren't really sure of?
I really hate you guys. No, I've heard the word tosser before. I just thought it was funny the way that Mags said it, so I just said it back because it made me
Mags,
laugh.
you talk funny. Can't relate.
No, I just like the way he said it. It was funny, so I laughed and then I said it back.
What a tosser!
Yeah, you.
What do you?
Something tells me we're not talking about like baseball or something, right?
Okay, so Mags, what is a tosser?
A tosser is a name for someone who's a wanker.
Yeah, wanker.
Someone who's a prick. Someone who's an arsehole.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be accurate there. I like wanker. Wanker's a great well, I don't really. How much do you say wanker much, Mags? We have more of a vocabulary similar.
That's in my daily vocabulary, calling someone a wanker.
A wanker. Yeah, I like saying that word. Everyone say wanker.
No.
The first rule about wanker, you don't just come out and as a group say wanker.
That's what you say, but that. I mean,
Oh, my good lord.
Oh, God, help us.
so we've been recording for 5 minutes, and I don't even know where we're at now. So who knows? Queen, it is Monday over in the States. Tomorrow would be the launch of Disney Plus. I tweeted at you yesterday because it's exciting, okay? I don't get it for another week, but can you pre-order a subscription? I'm pretty sure you can do that. If so, have you?
Mm. Yes and yes. I will
exciting.
be singing all sorts of Disney tunes tomorrow on a Disney playlist on my way to work and on my way home from work. So when I get home, after I record, I can just enjoy my evening with Disney Plus.
Who's excited? Is any of you guys excited for Disney Plus? Are you guys Disney fans? Or, well, Mags, you probably watched Disney when it was silent movies, but that's okay. It's still maybe on there. But who's excited for Disney Plus?
Oh, what a tosser. No, we're not getting it in Britain till March. So fuck all y'all and your Disney Plus. I'll keep Netflix and cry.
We never get things before you, Mags. Why are we getting it a week later than the States? We always get things last, so...
Probably Brexit. I'd blame Brexit.
Sure.
Doesn't everybody blame Brexit?
Yes, I blame Brexit for everything.
Oh, man. JPQ, Conrad, you guys getting Disney Plus? I mean, I don't know. Do you guys like that stuff?
I already have it. My wife pre-ordered it. You know, we have a built-in excuse with a 17-month-old. So we're going to be sitting around, watching every movie that they make, that they have made. And I'm not as excited for the television shows. They don't seem to excite me so much. The Loki one, okay. The other ones I'm not terribly hyped for, but to be able to go back through the catalog without having to spend $14.99 per movie sold me right off the bat.
It's going to be good. What about you, Conrad? You got a little one, but I mean, do you want to...
Yeah, he's
That's
still
like
very,
Marvel.
very little, but he likes watching TV and all the colors and stuff. I'm trying to convert him to be a wrestling fan, but Mrs. Everything Pro Wrestling is actually a huge Disney fan. Like, over the top, loves all the princesses, knows every movie forward and backward. She yells at me all the time when I disrespect movies like The Lion King. Like, how did you not know that? I'm like, I didn't watch it when it came out when I was in 2nd grade. I'm sorry. Like, I was too busy laughing at other people. Like, you guys knew this was going to happen. Shut up. But I'm excited for it for a different reason. I am a stockholder in Disney. So I'm telling everybody to go out and get it. And people who know that I own the stock have been telling me, like, he's only saying that because... I'm like, shut your mouth. Let everybody go out and get it. We need this stock to rise up so I can sell that bad boy and get some profit from it. But I think that it's going to be amazing, though. With I love all the Marvel stuff. Disney has something for everybody, I feel like.
It does. It's got a lot of stuff. Obviously, like Marvel. It's got every episode of The Simpsons on it. I mean, I don't know if people still watch The Simpsons, but... I mean, to go back and watch the old ones will be good. It's got Star Wars. It's got a little bit of everything. So that's going to be fun. Is it going to make any of you, like, stop your Netflix account? I don't know. It's just extra money, I guess. But how much is Netflix over in the States?
Too much.
It is too much. It went up recently. I feel like
Is it $12.99 or $15.99?
I think it's $12.90. I think it's $12.99.
But I think it's $15 if you try to do like the package deals, because I have a family where it's like my mom, brother, me, and it's like, dude, there's way too many people like to try and do all this to pay the extra to share.
Yeah, it's like $19 over here. It's expensive, but
I think we pay £15, but I think we can have that on 5 different screens at once. So
yeah, Netflix is good. I only really watch Netflix for the originals, so. I don't really watch Netflix for, like, movies. I know that every country is different with its, like, selection of what's on Netflix because it's all got... There's other things and stuff like that. But I really only like Netflix for, like, the original series they have on there. But that's...
I love their original movies.
Yeah, that too, yeah. But, like, I don't know. Is this gonna surpass Netflix, or is Netflix just too far in the in the lead. I mean, each their own, I guess. But JPQ, you have brains. You're a smart person.
Just totally blanked all us three.
For the rest of us, huh?
I didn't even mean it like
guys.
I've got a text with Queen that says otherwise.
Wow, I didn't even realize how bad that sounded until like way after I said it. Like that sentence was so far out of my body, and I was like, "Wow, that sounds like I was just calling everyone stupid." I don't even know what I was gonna say. Sure, whatever I just said. What did I say? Netflix, yeah. Is it just too far in the lead, or is Disney Plus gonna give it a little run for its money?
No, Netflix is too far in the lead. I mean, with their Netflix originals plus the movie deals that they have, plus like a 10+ year head start, there's just no way that Disney's going to be able to capitalize on that market share at this point. Moving forward, again, Disney's only going to be focusing on what Disney owns, and they own a lot, mind you. But for them to be comparable to Netflix 10 years from now, they're going to have to buy a lot more companies. They're going to have a lot more original content. And I just don't know with the type of characters or the type of properties that they own that we're going to see that kind of payout in the long run. With that said, Disney is a bigger company. So overall, this is good for their portfolio because it just adds an over the top streaming service that they've needed for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this has been in the works for a little while, but I'm kind of surprised it's not being done sooner. Because, I mean, Disney, what don't Disney have, like, something in? They have a little bit of everything at this point. Disney seem to be, like, owning the world at this point, which is not a complaint. I love Disney, but anyway, I digress. What this kind of, the point of this, as you can already tell with the chat that we're already having now, is we're just chatting, and this is just going to be just a little conversation and a little fly on the wall that you get to be listening to this, but it has been a few months since the end of Brainbusta Radio. Everyone's doing their own thing. Everyone's been whatever it may be. Mags, what's been up since if for anyone that hasn't been paying attention, or hasn't been following in, or hasn't really known what the last couple of months has kind of brought for all of us, but what does it mean for you since the end of Brainbusta Radio, and then what you're kind of doing with Badlands now, and your other shows that you have as well? But what's the last couple of months look like for you?
To be honest, and no disrespect to anyone who is in the group, I felt that Badlands have actually come out of this kind of really, really, really well. I've gone over it on many, many occasions, but I was actually recording when the whole incident went down, and by the time I finished recording, we had nowhere for our podcast to go on, and Badlands and Queen were in this like unique position where we didn't actually have a feed of our own, so we were really, really stuck in limbo. Luckily, Paul and I got some absolutely amazing offers from just some big rollers in the podcasting world, and yeah, it was just a shock that our show was so well thought of, and we're just two idiots from Britain who just like to have fun and talk about wrestling, and the fact that people have taken that to their hearts and really give us a chance, it blows us away. So we eventually agreed to move to the Chair Shot network, and it's been brilliant. I mean, the support there is absolutely phenomenal. We already knew a couple of guys who had podcasts over there anyway, so it was kind of like an emotional connection that we already had. But yeah, the support is brilliant. The support from wrestling Twitter in general has been amazing. But the big thing for me, and I've mentioned it to all of us before, is the fact that we kept this group going and we kept supporting each other. That was the thing that I'm most glad that happened. I'm glad that we all stuck around. We decided to keep together, and it meant we were doing it because we wanted to, rather than we was obliged to because we were under this network. So yeah, that's really what's been happening with Badlands, really. With terms of 5 rounds, that's the UFC podcast. Yeah, that's more of a passion project with me and my son, and sometimes we get a pup who shows up every now and again for a show, and then While We Watch is my absolute baby of a show. I would do that show if nobody listened to it. I just love having that chat with people about wrestling and about how they got into wrestling. We've just interviewed our first actual wrestler, a guy called One Man Crew. So yeah, I'm having an absolute whale of a time podcasting. It's something that I didn't think I would love, and when I got into it, yeah, I've absolutely fell in love with doing it, and yeah, it's just brilliant. It's the highlight of my week sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Conrad, what have you been up to since all this has gone down? You've got a lot going on just with the little one and stuff like that, but have you changed your approach to any of this, or is everything just kind of sailing the way you thought it would? I know you do your reviews and stuff like that, but what's been going on with you since the end of Brainbusta Radio?
Just like Mags, I was actually recording with JPQ when all this happened. We were watching some Stardom, talking some Stardom. He was putting me down on some game, which I have absolutely fallen in love with since then. And I'm actually telling people now about some of the Stardom people that he educated me about. But since then, I've really been working on just trying to find what I want everything pro wrestling to continue to be, where I want it to go as far as growth and everything else. I'm still recording the podcast. Usually I drop those on Tuesday as of late. Just because the Saturday and Tuesday date, I was trying to poll people, and every time I do polls, I swear to, everything winds up at like 50% on both sides, and I'm like, this isn't helping. And I'm just like, whatever, I'm just going to make a decision. But my YouTube channel has been growing pretty well this year. I looked at where I was last year around this time, and I have more than doubled the amount of subscribers. So that's put me in a unique position as far as my channel growth, and I would like to try to get to 1K before the end of the year. I'm close. I don't know if I'll get there, but that's still the plan. I'm going to push hard for it. I still listen to all you guys, put out retweets, do everything. I feel like I do a lot of content, so I apologize for always posting it, but I do the 2 shows every week, one for AEW, one for WWE, podcast talking MLW, anything else that I can, Impact, NWA. So much wrestling, so little time, and I'm just trying to figure out a way to incorporate you guys into some of the shows as well.
Yeah, you never apologize for the amount of content. It's a good thing, because you just go, which is a good thing. But yeah, it seems to be the kind of case since the end. JPQ for you, you were recording with Conrad, as Conrad just said, but what's it been like for you? You've been watching a lot of Stardom, as you do, because that's why we love JPQ, but what has it been like for you over these last couple of months, or however really long it's been? I don't even know, but what's it been like for you?
It's been good. So, as Conrad said, him and I were recording. We were recording at about 3 a.m. Hashtag watch Stardom. And that was the crazy thing. Like, all that went down. I've never actually spoken upon this. And I'm not going to drive too much into it. But, I had about 6.5 hours worth of content to put out, one drop. And it just so happened that the whole BBR thing happens. And then that happens, Saturday morning. And then Sunday, I'm dropping 9 episodes on Stardom. The hashtag watch Stardom and chill. And, it kind of established what No Particular Angle is, which now seems to have a singular focus on one particular angle moving forward. And you know what? It's probably a long time coming. I still do random indie shows, GCWs, things of that nature. Sometimes, we bring people on and we just kind of talk. But for the most part, Stardom's really doing some nice things right now. And then with the whole Bushi Road thing that's kind of come across, people have reached out in good numbers. And when I say good numbers, I mean like fans, like not of the show, but of Stardom, and said, hey, I want to learn more about this. You seem to have an edge for it. Can you keep doing this? And, not to say like, oh, we give the people what they want, but it is one of those things where, if there's a need, if there's a niche that's not being filled, I'm happy to do that, provided I know what I'm talking about. And in this instance with Stardom, it's something that I feel comfortable with, and something I enjoyed. It's something that I don't have to be over analytical about, and yeah, it's kind of been flourishing from there. So happy with everything that's happening on No Particular Angle. Happy to see what everybody else is doing, both from you, Josh, EPW, Badlands, Queen, obviously, hashtag Queen and Pup Connections going strong. And then I've taken up a role on Smart to Death as a resident Smart to Deather. popping on there for review shows and recaps and weekly updates and things like that as well. And I've kind of committed a little bit more time to that. So everything, in Big Paul's world is on the up and up.
Yeah, it seems to be that way. You seem very everyone just seems very happy, which is good. Queen, we've had many chats on the end of Brainbusta Radio and just everything going forward with that, and you were kind of like in the same position as Mags. You had to kind of, create your own feed and get that up and running. But once you got that going, what's it been like the last couple of months for you? Because it seems like you're just killing it, really, as everyone is, but you just seem to have ideas and just expanding on what you already kind of started from, well, really from nothing. You started from just a concept to where you are now.
Well, yeah, started from the bottom, now we're here, like Drake. Thank you for that. That's very sweet. Things since Brainbusta Radio have been good. I, like Mags, like we just talked about a little bit, I was like, cool. What am I going to do now? All right, I'll figure it out, I guess. And I just put everything on my own Podbean, and I just was like, well, okay, let's go. So Queenie has been very busy. I'm trying to keep things creative and do something fun. I've started a new series called #Queenie Guides. My first episode was with JPQ, #WatchStardom. And my second episode drops this week. I'm very excited about it. It's just something different. Queen's Court started as one thing, and it's still the same. I'm still holding court. I'm still doing something. But it's kind of morphed into a different type of wrestling conversation. And I'm very happy with how things have been going for the past few months in terms of that. And I'm still on DYWTSB, helped change the format of that show, and doing my watch-alongs with Pops every single Sunday, which has been a lot of fun. And I, too, like JPQ, have taken up a role with Smark to Deather. Is that what you said? That's cute. Love that. So I've been doing that, which has been super cool for predictions or previews and reviews or whatever Anthony would like. I will happily join him because he's just a doll. And I'm just trying to have a good time. And #Queen of Pub Connection and Wrestling Wednesdays with us is still a thing. That never changed. I feel like, things change. I got a new castle, right? Got a new castle, but, the fan bam's still the same. And, it's been really cool for me to watch everybody in, our group chat never stopped. We renamed it, but it didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? It's a new name, but same crew. And it's been really, really fun for me to watch all of you guys, my boys, my BBR boys, flourish, in the face of our little adversity there, and to come out, on top, still killing the game as we are. And, that's been the dopest part for me. I'm just really proud of everybody and happy the way that 2019 is turning out in the end.
Yeah, that's what I'm most happy about too, is that we all just kind of stayed as a tight little unit, and we just kept, keep on keeping on, really. We just kept on doing the grind and whatever we had to do to keep on with our stuff, because it would have been easy especially for Queen and Mags, just to go, well, I have no feed anyway, I'm just not going to do this. You both had other shows, you both were still guesting on other shows, so it would have been, the easy route would have just been like, whatever, I'm not going to do this, but you just kept on, doing what you needed to do, and kept on producing wonderful content, as you all do. But everyone knows who listens to this and stuff like that, how I've been going, but it's been more of really just not being afraid to try some new things, and not be afraid so much to state how I feel on some things, because sometimes, as you all know, I get a little bit worried when people are like, oh my god, he actually does hate something, but there is things I don't like, and I'm just not afraid to state my opinion a little bit more on some things. But that's what Wrestling Reverb has been doing. I'm still dropping on Fridays, as everybody knows, and with this show and stuff like that, I like the Josh Robinson Show as my kind of chill out time for the week, because I just really talk about anything on here and whatever else is going on my YouTube and stuff like that, you all know. But it is crazy, because we're coming up towards the end of the year and all of that madness that goes on, and it's another year gone. We're nearly in 2020, a new decade, everything like that. It's been, I didn't really expect, I don't think you ever really expect a year to go how it does. There's always like, oh my god, I didn't think this would happen this year. And, there's things happening just in the wrestling world. I believe, Queen, I seen a tweet from you saying the fact that we're seeing, like, I'm paraphrasing here and I could be getting this wrong, please correct me if I am, but the fact that Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley are wrestling in a death match on a mainstream television program in 2019 is pretty wild.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy to... The year we've had in wrestling, and just the year in general, is pretty wild. I'll start with you, Queen. Wrestling or non-wrestling wise, what's been a moment that you've just been like, man, this made you just stop and go, wow, this year is pretty damn crazy?
Oh my God. Well, I mean, that was one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I think it's just in general the possibilities that have come about in 2019 have me like, wait, what? This is real life?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be obvious and go with AEW, but at the same time, I never thought, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, even last year, to some extent at the beginning of it, I didn't think that I would get Dean Ambrose, now Jon Moxley again, versus Kenny Omega on American television. Like, that's just not something I ever thought was going to happen, let alone have them in a death match where it's like CZW death match, So, like, that was wild to me. But the fact that we've had an increase in New Japan shows, for me personally, that has been the thing that's just been, like, crazy to me. JPQ and I were so lucky enough to go to the G1 Supercard, and we got to see the Great Muta. I was just sitting here like, what is my life? And of course I looked at Mr. Queen and he's like, I don't understand why you're freaking out. I'm like, oh, forget you. I'll text JPQ, and it's just those kind of things to me, like the fact that I got to see Okada wrestle and Ibushi wrestle and Jay White and all them. That's crazy to me. It's crazy even to this day. And that was what, April? I still can't get over that. Or the fact that it's Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin in a high school gym. Never thought I'd say that out loud, but sure have.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff for me in 2019 that I've been like, bruh, I don't, did we ever think this was possible? I don't know.
It is crazy. This year's been really just madness in a lot of ways, and I mean that in a good way for the most part. But Conrad, what's been a moment this year, wrestling or non-wrestling, that you've just gone, holy crap, what is going on right now?
That's tough to pick one. Queen said AEW, so I'm going to avoid that one. I think it's been the overall ride that we've been on probably for the past year in everything in regards to pro wrestling. My podcast, at one point I thought that it wasn't going to make it anymore and I didn't want to do it, and this is getting tough, and I don't know if people like it or if people like me. And it's still a struggle at times, but I've learned, like, hey, a lot of people actually care about this. And I get messages from people saying, like, hey, good episode about this. And I didn't know you listened. That's cool. And it's just been a lot. And like Queen said, I came from an era when I first started watching wrestling as a kid up until an adolescent. There were always multiple wrestling companies.
Yeah.
And I know who Jushin Thunder Liger, Great Muta, all those people are. And I'm going to probably cry. Someone check on me January 4th and 5th when it comes to Jushin Thunder Liger. But this whole idea of having a second wrestling company, so many fans haven't gotten to experience it. People who just got introduced to WWE and that's all they've known. And despite the fact that we see a lot of people in the wrestling community go back and forth with each other, like, I can tell when someone doesn't like something and they're in there to attack a group of people who are enjoying WWE, AEW. I don't like that, but I've also seen a lot of people unite, including the wrestling podcasters. It's really good to see us all talk to each other. Smart to Death, Ori on Progress, Foul, just to name a few. We all still work together, and I think that's one of the most beautiful things. I'm not on Twitter to get into arguments with people. Some guy said something the other day, didn't know him. I randomly just jumped into his conversation. I just said, listen, brother, I'm an AEW fan, and I would never say something like that to you. And then afterwards, it turned into a good back and forth between us, and then, hey, cool with you, cool with me. That's the main thing I'm taking from it. I appreciate the positivity going on in wrestling and the endless possibilities, like Queen said, that we can get from this.
Yeah, it's just it is there's so many obviously there's pros and cons to absolutely everything that happens, but the word united really does, because a lot of us have come together and been like, hey, we're all watching different things, but we're all watching the same thing at its core, and that's wrestling. We should all come together on that and just be like, whatever you're watching, cool, do you, but we're all watching wrestling, let's just appreciate that. But it has been just crazy. I mean, the elephant in the room is, of course, AEW, and just the fact that we have another, global wrestling company to compete, and well, not even just to compete, just an alternative, just to watch something else or watch both or whatever you're doing. It is pretty crazy because, 2 years ago, you would never say that. You'd never be like, no one is ever going to get on that level. But we actually have something that's starting to really, it's on the rise. Of course, it's only been going for, sometimes people forget that this company's only been in existence for like 6 months. So it's pretty crazy though. JPQ, what about for you? What's been something this year that's just crazy to think about?
I think it's the investment of wrestling companies. Like, I think it's an investment in wrestling companies that are an alternative to WWE. And that's not a knock on WWE by any means. It's just, you have AEW now, you have Beyond on IWC on Thursday nights, you have Stardom now with Bushi Road, you have New Japan Pro Wrestling coming over and starting a dojo, American on stateside, you have WWE reaching out globally and going with the NXT UK and providing that to a different market, and then there's whispers of them going to Japan. You have the American Independent Scene, you have GCW coming up through the ranks and cementing themselves as a firm number 3. Yet you have Ring of Honor, what they're doing, Conrad, I'm not sure, but you have Ring of Honor somewhere doing what they're doing, and the accessibility to all these, the investment put in to be more accessible and dedicating themselves to 2019 to get their reach out to the fans. I attribute a lot of that to Fight TV and seeing the market and knowing that people will pay to see these people. A lot of that goes to AEW. There's a tremendous amount of different people that are dedicated to not just bringing money into wrestling, but then reciprocating and making sure that wrestling gets to the fans. And that's been really something nice to see in 2019.
Yeah, it's fans seem to be just like the companies investing and stuff like that. You talk about that and just it is so crazy. It kind of just makes me just kind of zone out because there's so much wrestling and there's so many people just investing into different things and finding their niche. And I do feel like wrestling is in a better spot than it has been in the last however many years, just in terms of reachability and stuff like that. People are able to watch this stuff and there's something literally for everybody. Or at least in my mind, there's something for everybody. But Mags, what about you? What's been something wild in this year, and just looking back and just going like, oh, that's happened, or that is happening, or it is happening? Like, what's going through your mind when I ask you that?
Yeah, in terms of wrestling, there's not really that much more I can add than what the rest of the guys and gals have said. For me, the big standout of 2019 obviously is going to be AEW, but in terms of wrestling, it was actually the G1. I felt that for the years that I've been a New Japan fan, this was the most stacked G1 block grouping that we've had, the most talent rich, and it was just absolutely amazing that every day of that tournament we got some outstanding wrestling. And I agree with what you said just then about how wrestling is kind of in like the hottest period that it's been in for since the Attitude Era. It's as simple as that, and it's good to connect with all these wrestling fans. I mean, this time last year, I didn't have a podcast at all. I didn't start podcasting until January. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind of a year for me. But taking all that aside, there's two things that have absolutely blown me away this year, and they've absolutely nothing to do with wrestling. It was being blessed with two beautiful, amazing grandchildren, and the best wrestling in the world couldn't give me what those two little girls have given me. So yeah, for me, it's been a 2 times grandfather. Yeah, that's the best thing of 2019 for me.
That's all. I was just like, oh, yeah. It was just
and the fact I got to share it with you guys in the group as well. I mean, I sent the pictures to you guys before I even sent them to my real life friends. I mean, not that I'm saying you're not friends, but the people who I know face to face, and it was just amazing that feeling and being able to share it with people halfway across the world. Yeah, it was just a brilliant time. Absolutely brilliant.
What a tosser.
Oh, episode title put in.
I think it just wrote itself.
Yo, can I add something real quick?
Go ahead. Imagine if I just said no, just plain out. No, you can't talk.
Sure. That you what?
Just mute her.
Just go. No, Queen, you can't. I would have been like, oh, okay.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, go on, of course.
You know what is another thing that I loved about 2019? I found GCW, you guys, and I'm so in love.
I really thought she was going to say something about finding Jesus.
Boy, I already found Jesus. We're cool. Though I'm sure he doesn't like my swearing. Anyway, there's that, and then the other thing I really wanted to say is like our group bond, and Mags just touched on it, which is what made me think of it. But it's really cool. Like I come to that DM and I'm like, yo, like just telling stuff and talking about life and how cool that it's been that in 2019 we've been able to form the bond that we've been able to form. And I have individual friendships with each of you, and JPQ and I are hashtag Queen of Pub Connection, and all these things that have happened in 2019 that weren't here in 2018, right? It wasn't a thing. Like you guys were on Twitter and doing stuff. I wasn't around last year, so it's been really blessed in that way that we've been able to create these friendships and this bond with one another. And even though we don't hang out in the same place anymore for our shows, we still hang out, in a different way, and we still support one another. And that's been some of the coolest stuff of 2019 for me that I'll take away. And plus, like I said, I wasn't around last year, so even having a show in general is not something that was prevalent or possible, or it was possible, but it wasn't like a thing that I had on my list. Put it that way. And and here we are now. So it's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's the thing I take away most. I did have a show, but it wasn't anything like it is now. It was like nothing, and now it's people are actually listening. But that's the thing I take away the most. Is pretty crazy that I have friends all over the world, really. Like and just stuff like I think this year has been good. There's things I won't say publicly, but there's been things that I've told you guys just with relation to illness in the family. But it's that I always this is gonna shock everyone, but I always look at positives in situations and take the best I can out of it. I know, gasp, everybody. But it's those people that I do need to be closer to. I've made the effort to be closer to those people just because of circumstances and stuff like that, and it's made me really open my eyes to not to get all like sappy and weird, but you really don't know what happens tomorrow, so you just got to kind of live in today and not really stress about what's going to go on tomorrow or what happened yesterday. All you can really control is what you're doing right now. So that's just really the last few months and over the last year that I've been just approaching in everything. Mags, you and I had a little conversation for your shows just about the fact that you've noticed, and I think other people have noticed, just how I've come along and just been a little bit more confident and stuff with just how I'm doing. And I think that's since Brainbusta Radio has ended, and even since we started, talking and stuff like that, I feel like we all have gained the right amount of self-confidence to keep doing what we're doing, because I think it does in anything that we do, especially when we're presenting like ourselves in a podcast or whatever we're doing. I think there does have to be a little bit of self-confidence, but that's really what I've noticed from all of us, is that we've all kind of, started to show a little bit more personality and stuff like that just as each episode rolls on. But I know that me and you did talk about that, Mags. How important do you find that just in what you're doing, or what any of us do? Can you sense when there's some kind of comfortability and confidence within someone?
Yeah, definitely. And like we spoke on Why We Watch, when I go back and listen to my old episodes, I can tell that I was reading off a script and I was very robotic. There was no deviation. There was no kind of friendly back and forth almost. It was kind of like call and response. So I can see in myself how I've evolved as a content creator. I mean, I don't really see myself as a content creator. I see myself as an idiot who talks to people, and we just record and edit it and put it out. But yeah, I can definitely. I'm a people watcher kind of person, and with the amount of like content that I end up consuming, I can sense these subtle nuances when someone is getting into the groove, and when someone's found the voice and they know what they're putting out, and they're enjoying what they're putting out. Yeah, I can sense that, and I have to totally agree with what you just said, that everybody has really come out of their shells this year, and with the content they're putting out, and the quality is getting better and better. And I say it in the group all the time, and I've absolutely no problem saying it publicly. Me and Paul are only trying our best to keep up with you guys. You guys are putting out outstanding content week on week, and it's just a privilege to be able to watch you guys do that, and then to try and keep pace with it. It's just, yeah, you're inspiring. You all are absolutely inspiring.
Mags. Mags. Well, I can't really top what Mags just said, so I guess we'll shift gears into something. We'll just have a nice little chat. I know that Queen, I know that you go and you've watched a few movies this year. You've told us kind of that, but we'll go around the group here. I'll start with JPQ. JPQ, what's the last movie you went and seen?
Oh God, the last movie?
Yeah.
That I think it was like Scream 4.
Damn.
Oh no. It was Rogue One. That was the last one that I saw in the theaters. Yeah.
Are you do you like going to the movies? Is that something that you like to do, or do you prefer to sit at home and watch a movie?
It depends on the movie, but it is one of those things where I just don't have the time to get there, wait in line, buy the snacks, and then sit down and watch. I know it sounds crazy, like you're going to watch a movie. What the hell? What do you mean? But like that whole thing, I just don't have that type of time. So anytime I can sit down and watch a movie, it's usually like 2 a.m. in the morning, and it's a little peace and quiet time. So no, I don't go to the movies too much, but I wish I could.
I like the movies. It's hella expensive, but I like it. Conrad, what's the last movie you went and seen in the cinemas, theaters, whatever you want to call it?
It was not Child's Play. I did go see that. That was the second last. Joker was the last movie I went to go see in the theaters. It was lucky, on a whim.
I went and seen Joker. It was very good. Obviously, no spoilers, but did you enjoy it?
I absolutely did enjoy it. But I am similar to JPQ, though, in the fact of when someone says, hey, let's go to the movies, I look up how long is the movie. It's to the T that I'm like, all right, this is going to be an hour and 30 minutes. If we go at 9:15, once it gets through the previews, we'll be out by 10:45. Then I got to be back here by 11. Okay, this will work. And it's just crazy that you do that and you just don't enjoy the movies anymore. But I have to have everything timed. Like if it's over 3 hours, like I just watched It Chapter 2 finally today, and that took up a lot of time. That was a long movie.
Yeah, if a movie's too long, I'm signed out by the half. I'm just like, I just don't, I get so disinterested. I guess that's just a short attention span thing, but I'm the same as you. I always look at like how long this movie's going to go for, so I like to be on a little bit of a schedule for a lot of my day. But yeah, Queen, what's the last movie you went and saw? I believe it's probably going to be the same answer as Conrad. Was it Joker?
It is. It was the Joker. It was the last movie I saw in theaters.
Did you like Joker? I mean, I feel like we chatted about that. Could be wrong.
I really liked it, yes, like a lot. I was kind of surprised by how much I liked it. Yeah. Me too, because I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, but it was a very good movie. I think is it the highest, I think I've seen like something that was like the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time or something like that. Wow. It doesn't surprise me at all. But in the interest of a different answer, what was the movie before Joker that you went and seen? Before Joker, okay, I have to really think about that.
Do you go to the movies a lot? Do you like the movies?
Yeah, Mr. Queen likes a good movie. Mm-hmm. He likes to drag me to Star Wars films.
Good man.
It doesn't always work in his favor. But yeah, I feel like there was one before Joker, but I can't remember it. But I did see Endgame. There's another one over the summer, and I can't remember what it was. So I'm gonna think about it. I'll get back to you. But I know I saw Endgame, and I was a mess.
I've never watched any of those movies, any of the Avengers movies. It's just
you're a tosser. I said it with an American accent. Okay, Mag.
Speaking of, good segue to Mags. Mags, do you like going to the movies? Are you someone that enjoys it?
I like going to the movies, but I have not been to the movies in years. I think the last movie that me and Mrs. Mags went to see was probably Trainspotting 2, and I think that was about 5 years ago. It's just finding the time. It's like Conrad and JPQ said, we just struggle to find the time. I mean, I have a hectic work schedule as it is. Then Mrs. Mags, she works in a town a good hour and a half away, and she's got a very high profile job, so she's pretty much on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we can't really justify like spending 2 or 3 hours out of a day to go and watch a film, as bad as that sounds. And she comes home from work tired. I'm usually tired, and we just usually like, we have family around, or we'll have the granddaughters here, and we just don't get the time. I think the most I've watched recently is Teletubbies.
Oh my god, the Teletubbies!
Damn, it's the watch for the Teletubbies.
Those my two granddaughters are absolutely obsessed with the Teletubbies. They will watch that all the live long day.
Damn,
that's awesome.
Well, yeah. The Joker was the last movie that I went and watched, but before that, I'm not really like someone that really goes to the movies. I like it, but I don't really do it that often. I'm trying to think, before Joker, what was the last movie? I think it was Star Wars last year. Yeah, it would have been. But I just don't really go to the movies that often. I don't know. I prefer to sit at home and just watch a movie or a television show. That's another thing. If you're going to sit down on your couch, you have nothing to do for the day, are you going to sit down and watch movies, or is it going to be a television series? Because I feel like I can watch a television series for 6 hours, but struggle to watch a movie for 3. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a weird conundrum in my house. We'll struggle to sit and watch a 2-3 hour film, but we'll happily binge an 8-part Netflix original. It's absolutely weird. Me and Mrs. Mags, we like crime dramas, or like true crime programs. So we absolutely love Netflix for that. There's one, I don't know if you'll get it on Netflix US, but there's a little kind of mini series called Criminal here in Britain, and they've got like a UK version, a German version, and a Spanish version. And they're absolutely brilliant. Some amazing acting. So we've been watching that recently. What else have we watched? I watched the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That it's literally only just
surprised
me. UK Netflix a while ago. But yeah, we kind of like the true laugh kind of documentary kind of programs.
All right, we'll run around the room again. Conrad, what are you a television series binger, if you can? What have you been watching whenever? What is something that you liked on Netflix or whatever?
So I'm different when it comes to it. So for Netflix, I will tell you something I need to finish catching up on is Shameless. I'm way, way behind everybody else, like a season or 2 probably. But I was a big fan of that show. And at first I didn't like it because when my wife was watching, I heard some very colorful language. And I'm like, what is this? And she was like, you got to sit and watch it. You'll love it. And then eventually fell in love with it. Weekly, I have been a big fan of the Mayan series, which is a spinoff of Sons of Anarchy.
Me too. Sorry.
Oh, Queen, if you didn't know, I only post this on my personal Twitter, at Conrad Cushman. And when you guys go on there, you'll see me I won't post spoilers or talk about the show while it's happening, but I usually post oh, it's time, and then it's Mayans FX with the little motorcycle going across. So I absolutely am digging that. So if you like Sons of Anarchy, I recommend that one to you guys. And I am a big SVU fan. I love all of the police type shows, The Shield, everything like that. It's just great stuff.
Damn, I've never watched Sons of Anarchy. I've heard about it. So many people have told me to go and watch it.
Shows.
Yeah, so many people have told me that you'll enjoy it. It's a journey, that show. But
I'll say this: it takes you a sec. You have to watch the season 1 and get through like the first few episodes because it's setting you up for what I guess we'll say the lifestyle. I don't know if Queen's a fan of it too, but what the lifestyle is. And then it leads into the true story of it, and it's like,
it's one of those shows you gotta watch for a bit, and you gotta kind of get into it. It's
kind of like getting scratched, and then all of a sudden it bites you, and now you're stuck in it. Like, oh god, yeah, this is good.
I'm here for it. JPQ, what about you? Are you a binger of stuff on whatever streaming platform or just shows in general? What have you been watching recently that you're like, you need to go and watch this?
So if we're talking what my recommendation to people, it's Umbrella Academy on Netflix. Season 2 is coming out towards the end of the year, early next year, which is a fun show. It's got superhero-esque. It's a little darker. It's from the guy, the lead singer of My Chemical Romance. He wrote this before he was famous in that sense. That's a good show. That's on Netflix, as well as my wife and I watch garbage. Queen knows. She's met Mrs. Pup, and she watches the worst television in the world. So we are big fans of MTV's The Challenge.
Ooh,
and that reality.
Yeah, I'm garbage television too.
That's right. You guys would get along great. But we watch that every Wednesday. Right now it's a pretty good season. War of the Worlds 2, and that's a fun show. Other than that, I watch tennis. I like tennis.
Hell yeah. That was the most, just the most out of the blue answer. That might be the title of this podcast. I watch tennis.
I love it.
What about you, Queen? You seem to get very excited when people mention certain shows and stuff like that, but what's something you're like, Netflix or whatever, that you just like, watch this because you will love it? Or what have you been watching recently? Whatever you want to talk about, I really don't care. Do whatever.
Okay, well, so here's the thing. So Queen has a very... Definitely don't watch that. I have a very...
Caribbean cricket, though. Sorry, I gotta cut in. Caribbean cricket is so much better than English cricket. Like it's amazing how good. I know.
Wait, what?
Just saying.
I don't like cricket in general. I just don't like cricket. But...
Try Caribbean cricket. I'm telling you, those cats make it fun.
Now, curling, different story.
Oh, I love curling. I love curling.
Curling,
and I'm actually being serious.
I am being dead serious. That is the best Olympic sport ever.
The visual I have right now of Queen just like just being like, oh, it's curling. Like, hell yeah. Here we go.
No, you don't understand. I get so hyped. All right.
Oh, that's amazing.
I have a wide variety of TV shows and stuff that I like, right? So on one hand, I love Supernatural and Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead and Mayans. Sons of Anarchy was my show. I was depressed when they took it off Netflix, but now it's on Hulu, so we're good. But like, I love stuff like that. And then you'll catch me binging One Tree Hill, the originals, the Vampire Diaries. Yes, I can have intelligent conversations about the Vampire Diaries. Try me. We can do it. Legacies, which is the new offshoot of that. So I'll watch like all this random stuff. I don't actually watch a lot of chick flicks. I really don't. I watch a few. Like every now and then when you need a good cry, I'll watch P.S. I Love You, which is the best film ever. And then like stuff like that. But I really like action stuff. And in terms of movies, like I like to watch them, but I find myself getting distracted as well. But however, if you want to take a long time sit down with Queen, we can watch every single Lord of the Rings film, the extended cut, for like 16 hours or whatever the F it is. I will do that, and I won't move other than to like use the bathroom, get some food, and we'll be good. Like, I will do that, no problem.
You lost me. I'm gone. I've already left the house. See ya.
All right, bye, Josh.
enjoy your day. Hey?
High School Musical. We can watch it together.
Yeah, I'll stay. If I have to watch Lord of the Rings to get the High School Musical, as long as you give me a snack and shut me up, I'm good. Because otherwise, I'll complain throughout. I am horrible to watch movies with. I'm that person that like recites everything that someone says. I'm so annoying. I know it's bad, but I just cannot help myself. If someone is saying something on the television and I know what they're saying, I'm gonna say it. Like I'm gonna look directly at you and I'm gonna say it. I'm awful. The worst. In many ways.
Do you have like movies that you guys can quote, like for real?
I can quote like Mean Girls. Poof, poof, see ya.
Mean Girls.
Yeah.
What did was that JBQ or Conrad? I couldn't hear.
That was me, Conrad. Toy Story. Because my brother was a big Toy Story fan. I'm sorry if he's listening to this. He'll probably be embarrassed, but he was a big Toy Story fan. So I've seen Toy Story 1 so many times that I laugh at little things in there that nobody else would probably laugh at. Like Sid coming home on the skateboard on the music, and he's like, do, 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 do. And my wife went back and listened to it. She's like, how did you know that part was there? I'm like, I've seen this a million times.
Toy Story. Oh my god, Toy Story is the best.
Amazing.
Toy Story 2 is the best, but I love just me and Queen had a whole episode devoted to Disney and Pixar, and it was like my favorite chat that I've ever had because I'm just like, I love Toy Story.
Me too.
It was so fun. I don't really. What have I been watching on Netflix? So, have any of you ever watched The Good Place? Kristen Bell.
No,
I have not.
You guys should.
I've been meant to watch one episode.
It's so good. I love Kristen Bell. But that sounded really weird when I just like that went weird. But I do love The Good Place. See, I feel like if I don't point things out, none of you will notice. But then I can't help but to point things out that I do, which is just whatever.
We just chalk it up to the accent.
Yeah, sure. I'll just blame it on. I'm not a weirdo. I'm just Australian. So. The Good Place is something that I always watch. I am a garbage television watcher. I watch Catfish. I still watch Jersey Shore, and just nobody else watches Jersey Shore anymore. I don't care that they're in their 30s and they have kids and stuff. Let me see them get drunk. It's funny. Let me see them do random shit. I want to watch it. Sign me up. That was like Geordie Shore, all of that kind of stuff. I always watched all of that garbage stuff, and I still do. So that's the kind of stuff that I watch on the daily. I don't think people still say that. I don't know. I'm getting to my mid-20s now, guys, so I'm getting real old. I don't know the lingo anymore. I'm not up to date with
stop.
Has anyone been seeing the rounds of OK Boomer going around on the
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, what does this mean?
So sad. Read a book,
Josh.
people. I can't.
Oh man, this is just, it's starting to, see, this is where we're starting to drive off that cliff now, where we don't really know where we're going to land at this point. It's just, it's getting bad. It's either I stop now or I see where the insanity goes. I'm leaning towards more the latter, but we'll see how we go for the next 5 minutes. Anything else got anything on their chest that they would just feel like talking about? Feel free to pipe in.
Oh no, I'm enjoying this.
Great. Awesome. Great chat. Mag, say something so I can, like, I don't know, banter with you or something.
What would you like me to say?
Now he asks. Now he asks me. Usually you just pipe in and you're like, yep, cool, I'll say something. But now you're being courteous, aren't you? Courteous? That's not the word, is it? Yeah, it is. I don't know.
It is a word. Yeah, that's a word.
It is a word. I don't know if it's the right word. I don't know. Anyway, I guess this is where we'll kind of end this, whatever this has been. This Jersey Shore reunion. That's what I was just about to say out loud. This Brainbusta.
Oh my god! Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Whoop.
A Jersey Shore reunion?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's Pauly D?
Who's Pauly D?
Yeah.
JPQ.
Who is Pauly D? I have no idea who these people are.
Man.
It's probably me. It is. It's probably
It probably is you, though, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
If you come out with the words that Josh is snooky, I'm ending the call.
I was actually going to vote that as well. I guess I might as well leave.
It's
I
the
think
hype.
your hair, right? Because no,
No, I would agree. He's Paulie D.
yeah.
Could you imagine JPQ up there on the on the DJ stick? That's what I was about to say. Am I
You know,
really
the fucked
actually
up
getting
thing is-
old?
You definitely could. Yeah, and
I
that's not me.
definitely could.
Right. I can be a hype man. I can hype people. I know how to do that. I can
Hell
be a
yeah.
DJ.
Sure. Let's go with that.
He's a very nice guy. I've met him before. Very nice.
What?
I've met Paulie D before.
Yeah, me
I've
too.
met JWoww.
What the? I'm over here in opposite land. These like I would fangirl like crazy over these people. I'd be like a mess. I'd probably be crying. These people were my
Pauly
idols in
DJs
high
is-
school.
Yeah, Pauly DJ's around me all the time. When you come visit next year, he'll probably be there. We'll
Yeah,
go.
he'll do something
God.
for sure.
This
He's always
is-
up and down the Northeast.
Always.
There's something about watching someone in their like late 30s DJ, and it's like you still have that ridiculous head of hair, and I just want to look at you just because.
And the
look how-
Jesus chain.
Yeah, and like you just look so ridiculous. Like, get drunk in front of me, please. Just let me watch you. Like all of them. Like they're all just like parents, and like JWoww, her face doesn't really like move properly anymore, and there's something about that I just really love. It's just like there, and she's like, "I'm gonna beat your ass," and I'm like, "What expression are you showing? Are you sad? Are you angry? I don't know." And that's the appeal of it now. It's just like I don't know what's happening. All of them. I'm just like I don't know what's going on. And I just want to tap into that. I could really unpack that for a long time. All of their faces don't move, though. They have that much money that they're just like, yeah, sure. Fuck me up with this,
Yeah.
you know? But it's just fun. Who said they met JWoww? Was it you, Queen?
I did.
No.
No,
Okay,
it
it was
was me.
JPQ. JP Queen. It's
Kinda.
Kinda.
yeah. Like, just because? Like, what are you, pals? Like, what the hell? Like, this is not normal to me.
I mean, kinda. So I was
Wait,
able to meet her. Yeah. So I was able to meet her, and we kind of hit it off. And then we went for a picture, and this is where it got a little weird, right? Because my hand's on the small of her back, and her arms around my shoulder. And the person taking the picture, we assumed that there was going to be flash, but there was no flash. So there was probably about like 50 seconds of her and I just frozen, just waiting for them to either A, figure out how the phone works, or B, take the picture, where we're both just staring at her, smiling, looking at each other like, are they going to take this fucking picture or aren't they? And then eventually, like, we've been done for like 30 seconds. And her and I are like, well, great. You know, it's like, and then we went back to talking and bullshitting. Yeah, it was good. It was a good moment.
Huh.
She's very, like, what you see on television with her is exactly what she is in person. But she has a sweeter side to her, too. She's very straightforward. She's very, you know, hey, like, this is who I am. No apologies for it. But then from there, once you kind of grasp that side of it, which I'm cool with, like, hey, all right, that's cool. I know I know what zone I'm playing in. And, you know, then you can begin to start talking. And she's just like everybody else. You know, she's just a chick from Staten Island who, you know, talks a certain way. And if you can match that level of abrasiveness, you're going to get along.
Damn. Is anyone in that show actually from Jersey? I don't think anyone actually is from
I think Paulie
Vinny,
is. Or Vinny is, yeah.
Vinny is. Pauly was from New York. He's from New York. Dina is originally from Jersey, I think.
I love
Makes sense.
Dina. Dina's my favorite.
And Snooki was New York, but then she moved, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she was Staten Island.
Yeah, Staten Island, and so was JWoww and Angelina.
Angelina.
And Mike, I think, is Jersey OG, pretty sure, too.
Remember when Snooki wrestled at WrestleMania? That was a thing.
Yeah, remember that one time?
She
That was
won
fun.
she's technically undefeated at WrestleMania. I mean,
I
technically.
mean, dream life. I would like to be undefeated at WrestleMania, too.
I mean,
So would The Undertaker.
she's got
Whoop.
she's got that under her belt, I guess. What the hell? I'm having like literal flashbacks of that, of just like her doing that cartwheel and then that splash, and she pinned Michelle McCool.
Yeah, crazy. Oh, I was
WrestleMania
wrong.
27.
Situation is from New York. Fuck.
Damn, she's got her Google machine out. Google machine. What the fuck? What sentence is that? She's got Google. A Google machine.
I've got the Google machine.
Josh is my favorite.
Oh my god, what is wrong with me? I don't know. Many things. Okay, well, now that we talked about Jersey Shore for the last 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes longer than I thought any of us would. Mags has not said anything in a little while because he's like, what the fuck is going on? What shore am I in right now? Because I don't know.
I have never, ever watched a single solitary second of Jersey Shore. I have no clue what you guys are even talking about.
Do you guys call it shores out there?
Yeah, we have a program that was based off it called Geordie Shore.
Geordie Shore was great.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Oh my god, yes, it was. They just got drunk and had sex with each other. And then there's one called The Only Way is Essex, which is just as awful. And I think there's also one called Made in Chelsea as well, which is awful. Yeah, all those reality shows, they do absolutely nothing for me. I
can talk trash reality television in the UK because they brought a lot of those people over for the challenge. Mm-hmm. So who just got kicked off the other day? That was really, really good. She just made it to the finals last season. The blonde, Georgia.
I was gonna say
Georgia. Nobody watched it.
I watch it, but I'm trying to think of who. I'm blanking. I know who I can see her right now. I love the challenge because it's garbage, but it's great.
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome.
It's just I love garbage television. Mags.
Georgia Harrison. Is that
yes, Georgia. About? Yes, Georgia Harrison. Yeah. Then there's Bear. Then there's Ashley, who's a dude.
Bear, as in Bear Grylls, or Bear as in Stephen Bear.
As not Bear Grylls, but we can talk about him too. I used to watch that.
Yeah, if it's the other Bear, he's what we would definitely call. Yeah, it is. He's a tosser. He's an absolute tosser.
He kind of is. Yeah, it's that trash television. It's really good.
Oh man, I don't even know what to add to that. It's just trashy TV is fun. I love trashy TV. Always will. Okay, well, I guess this is a good place to end. Now it gets into the going around to the 600 people that are here to let us know what you've got going on. Conrad, what have you got coming up? Anything you want to promote? Where can we find you on Twitter? All that kind of goodness.
You guys can find me on Twitter at EPW Show. Coming up this week, I know I will have an AEW Dynamite review. There will be a WWE review in there sometime. I'm going to say either Thursday or Friday. I'm still debating if I want to change that day or not. And I should have a podcast dropping this week on Tuesday.
Cool. JPQ, anything you got coming up that's all special and all that jazz? And you know the deal. Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Big Balls on a Pup as well as at NPA Podcast. Drop no particular angle. New episode every Wednesday is one half of the hashtag Queen and Pup Connection. And then I'm looking at doing another hashtag Stardom or hashtag Watch Stardom and Chill for the Tag League. That should be wrapping up this weekend, so I would expect that sometime the following week, in which I have a couple things planned with everybody in this little chat here. So keep an eye out on that as well.
Cool. Mags, where can we find your stuff and all of that goodness?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at DEJKirkby. I release podcasts on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday is UFC night, proper fighting, not like that scripted wrestling bullshit. That's called 5 Rounds. Wednesday is my baby show. It's Why We Watch, where I speak to content creators, fans of wrestling, and now even actual wrestlers about how they got into enjoying this wacky scripted fighting bullshit that we all love. And then Thursdays is just where we let loose with Badlands, where we discuss the Mount Rushmores of wrestling, take a guest and a topic, and we thrash out who has the best Mount Rushmores. It's usually the guest. Paul turns up sometimes he doesn't. I can never tell with him. But yeah, come and give me a listen, check me out, and then block me on Twitter, as is the norm.
Queen, what have you got coming up? I know you said you got some Queenie guides coming up, but what have you got planned for the rest of the year, and where can we find you on whatever we talk on? What's the place we talk on? Twitter's the place.
Twitter, yeah. Twitter's the place. It's certainly something. Well, you can find me at the Queen of Any on Twitter. I have a Queenie Guides coming out with very special guest and friend of pretty much everybody here, to Miss Tiffany.
Woo! Shout out to Tiff.
Hollywood Pod. She's fabulous. Shout out to her. That's happening. Tomorrow is going to be my first ever Talk It Tuesday watch along AEW Dark episode. So that's breaking news. No one knows that. So that's happening tomorrow.
Oh, we got the exclusives here.
You got the exclusive-ish. And I have a special project coming out, but I can't tell you what it is. So keep an eye out for December on Queen's Court.
You know those eye emojis that everyone puts up when something's really cool? It's like, ooh, yeah. That'd be the noise that I'd make too. You can catch, of course, The Josh Robinson Show every single Tuesday, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening as a podcast. It's up to you. And, of course, Wrestling Reverb every single Friday. You can find me on Twitter at JoshRobinson00. You know where to find me at this stage in the game. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you to all of you for taking the time just to bullshit for the last hour or so, because it's been fun. Make sure to go and give all these people a follow, listen to all of their stuff. You should be at this point. Also, shout out to the rest of the former Brainbusta Radio team, Headlock Talk, Luke, just everybody, just because, you know, even Foul, sometimes I just... like Foul is at the beginning of all of this as well. Just everybody that made Brainbusta Radio, you know, what it was certainly not a time that any of us are ashamed of to be a part of at all, but I think everything happens for a reason. And in a weird sense of the way, I think you will probably all agree with me, this ending and being able to do what we've done is all for the best. We've all kind of brought out the best of one another, and this has all brought out the best in us, if that makes any sense. Not knocking, of course, what we had, but it's brought out the best of us. It's made us try some new things. So make sure to follow everybody, keep up with their stuff, because it is all fantastic stuff. You know that I am all very supportive of you guys, and I'm always listening and stuff like that. So I appreciate you taking the time to come on this show, because hey, this is just literally the show about anything and the show about nothing, which really is very relevant to this episode, because it was just a shitstorm, and I love that. It's my favorite chat to have. So thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.